Hello folks, and welcome to another video. Today's video is going to be about work knives, and today with me I've got 6 different knives. Some of them are more oriented towards like lighter usage, some of them are in the medium range, and some of them are like everyday I'm going to be using this type knives. So I'm going to go over what the knife is, who makes it, maybe some important factors, and then I'm going to give some personal testimony as to where it's come into play in my life. So starting at the lighter usage end, we've got the Microtech Ultratech. Now this is really, I've seen this be torture tested and stuff, and the material quality is supreme. But if you're just looking for something to flash to your knife buddies, or you're sitting around and want a fancy letter opener and you have the dollars, a fancy OTF knife like this will do the trick, especially since this is M390 blade steel, which, if you're not familiar, is what's known in the knife community as a super steel because it's so dense and has many great qualities such as excellent edge retention and corrosion resistance, which are really some of the biggest things that knife users look into for the knives. And this comes in a variety of colors and customizations, so you really can't not be pleased with getting one of these. Another one, if you want a flipper knife that looks a little bit more fancy when you take it out, I've got this Damascus Steel Civivi Praxis. This is a very thin-edged blade. It's got a nice choil if you want to cut an apple, I guess, and want to really choke up on the blade. It's got nice G10 not scandals, I always say that, scales for the handles, and a nice deep carry pocket clip, and a lanyard hole here. This is another great option. Civivi makes quite nice quality products. Now, if you're looking for a knife just to get other people off your backs, to so that you can use your own knife in peace, well, without other people ruining it, I would recommend going with this Buck 286 Bantam. Now, this is a cheaper option from Buck. It doesn't have a specified blade steel listed on the knife, so it's not a super high-end knife, but that also means that it doesn't require a lot of tools to sharpen it and maintain it. And some of these parts are easily replaceable, and it also helps that Buck has a lifetime warranty on this, so you can send it back to the factory if something breaks. And you also get free sharpening since it's a Buck, which is really nice. And your coworkers can abuse this all you want because you have the reassurance of Buck that this will perform. It's got a nice strong lock. It starts off with a sharp edge. If you have abusive knife coworkers like me who like to throw it and do a bunch of chopping of boxes, I guess, then this is still a great affordable option that keeps other people off your back. And most people won't know the difference between a lower end knife like this versus something like this CRKT, which is more of a mid-range knife. And what I love about this one, this is my everyday carry, that's what I carry at work, is it's larger in size. It's got ambidextrous tip up and tip down carry pocket clip. It's got these hand guards, or quillions, if you will. It's got a nice, instead of just a normal liner lock here, it's got an additional step to make sure that you are only closing this when you intend to. And one of the things that I love about CRKT is that they have these VEF serrations, which are exclusive to CRKT. And what's special about these is, in comparison to normal serrations, they don't rip and tear. These really lock into place whenever you're cutting into something and give you a nice, smooth, gliding cutting action. And these really do have superior cutting power. I've tested it myself many times. I've seen the videos as well. It's well-tested serrations, and I would consider getting a knife with VEF serrations if you can. And this one, I believe, has 8CR13 MOV, which is a mid-range steel for the blade. Don't quote me on that. I'm not 100% certain. I do know this has a mid-range steel, which is easily maintained while still giving you a nice quality of blade. Now, if you want a green option and something that's a little bit higher end, this is from Benchmade. This is about a $250 knife. It's got an axis lock. It's got dual thumb studs and CPM crew wear for the blade steel, which is a very nice blade steel. I would go look into it if you're not familiar. but if you are a knife fellow or a gal and know your blade steels, then that won't be necessary. It's got a nice strong pocket clip, G10 handles, and superb flipping action. Look at that flipping action. So superb. Did I mention that it was superb? Anyways, this knife will definitely take the abuse. You can put a lanyard through here. Hold on, let me just set down here. My TV started playing in the middle of the video. Well, now you know that I am not a perfect YouTuber, if that wasn't already apparent. Anyways, great knife. It'll take the abuse. This is definitely a good everyday work knife. Now, this knife has literally been used almost every day as a work knife by my master woodturner grandfather, who is sadly deceased. This is the Buck 110C. Now, this knife was originally intended as a hunting knife, but this was not used for hunting. This was used for wood carving and stuff. And due to my grandpa's poor cutting habits, he would always cut towards himself. He had to keep this knife dull, which is always a very sad thing when somebody carries a dull knife, but it does happen. There are those people out there who are not as cultured as I and like to keep a nice sharp blade. That's honestly up to the user. But this offers you great quality for a great price and will definitely take the abuse and will last you the rest of your life. Like, this lasted my grandpa his entire life, and it's come to me, and it's still in relatively good condition. I could go out and use this every day, and it would still work great, because, you know, it's a big hunk of metal, and metal does not really erode very quickly. So, with that being said, if you liked the video, make sure to let me know by hitting the like button. If you want to see more stuff like this, knife-oriented content, go ahead and subscribe to the channel. I greatly appreciate it. If you have something to say, leave a comment in the comments section. I would love to hear from you, maybe some video ideas or requests or even questions about the video. I'd love to hear from you. So with that, I hope you enjoyed the video, and stay sharp.